Hey, what's going on, guys? Shane here.
Vince the Anomaly.
So just this past weekend, I was in Vegas to watch the PFL featherweight and lightweight playoffs. There was a reoccurring theme of overhand rights, overhand lefts, and I saw a bunch of cool ways of setting it up. So we're going to look at 3 different ways today. Quick reminder that next weekend, Thursday, October 31st, are the PFL light heavyweight and heavyweight playoffs. So make sure that you tune in to ESPN Plus and ESPN2. Until then, let's take a look at throwing the overhand. Okay, so let's first take a look at what the overhand actually is. Why is it called an overhand punch? So most people exaggerate it and make it very looping, more like a haymaker where it comes all the way out here. It's not incorrect, but we can definitely clean that up. And it's called an overhand punch because it comes over Vince's hand, right? If I throw a cross or a straight right down the center, comes in between his guard, that's a straight punch, and then the overhand comes around. But like I said, we can clean this up. It doesn't have to be this looping. It just has to get around that guard. So even this technically is an overhand punch, okay? So try to keep it more direct. Try to get the fist directly to the target instead of looping it. This is going to maybe build more momentum, but it's going to be a little bit slower, okay? That being said, let's take a look at the first way to set up the overhand. Okay, so the first way that we're going to set up our overhand right is with a level change. So this is one that we saw a lot from all the boxer wrestlers at PFL, especially Lance Palmer. So he did it from the southpaw stance. And what he was doing right off the bat was he was touching his opponent's leg. He was reaching down as if he was going to go for maybe like a snatch single and grab that leg. So he's touching that leg and he's getting this reaction. See how Vince is dropping his level, he's shooting that leg back, his hand is dropping. That creates the opening for the overhand left. So you reach down and then boom, I got that opening right there, right off the bat. Now if you're not a wrestler, maybe you don't have to threaten the takedown as much. You can still threaten and get them to drop their level by going to the body with strikes. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'll demonstrate from orthodox, is just go with a jab to the body. Shoot this jab here, right? If I get that reaction, right, Vince has to close his arms a little bit. He has to lower his level to make sure that he is protecting his midsection. So now, after working the body a little bit, I'm gonna fake this, and then I'm just gonna shoot right over top when I have that opening, okay? It has to be quick, it has to be a bop-bop tempo, right? It shouldn't be 1, then 2, it should be the fake, and then right over top, we got that overhand right. All right, next one is going to be slipping our head offline. That's one thing that I really like about the overhand is it has built-in defense. It has built-in head movement. So instead of just throwing this punch and keeping my head straight up, we're going to be rock'em sock'em robots. Whoever has the better accuracy, whoever has the better timing is going to land. Why not have this defense built in? So what I'm going to do is just, when I throw the punch, I take a step out with this foot and I bring my head over top of that knee. So I'm getting off the center line. If Vince throws a straight right hand, it's like a slip, right? So I'm getting off the center line and I'm throwing the punch as I do it. So one thing that I can do is throw it when he throws a jab. So I'm getting away from the jab, I'm defending against that, but I also have a perfect opening. Watch when Vince throws this jab, now his chin is a little bit exposed, right? So if I get to the inside, as that comes in, I can come right over top, I can hit behind the ear, I can hit on the jaw. It's a great way of landing it. And how can you control someone? How can you manipulate them and throw what you want them to throw? Usually if I throw a jab and I land it, Vince is going to want to get his point back and throw it back. So I throw a jab, he goes to throw his back, boom, and he runs into that overhand right. Okay, so one of the best ways to control your opponent is land a strike. They're going to want to do that same thing back, and then you already have your follow-up in mind. All right, the last way of setting up this overhand is going to be much closer range, and some of the Insta coaches are going to say it's not an overhand, that's a hook. All right, fine, it's a rear hook. Either way, it's the same concept, it's the same idea. I'm going to be a little bit tighter, a little bit closer, so I want to get Vince to shell up. And a good way is to just go for more volume with my punches. I'm going to do a 1-2-1. And this works in the center of the cage, but even better, it works when he's up against the cage or against the ropes and has nowhere to go. And he starts to shell up. He starts to get more defensive, right? So I'm going to go 1-2, just quick punches, pitter-pat punches, and then my last one is going to go above. So it's a 1-2-1 or a jab-cross jab. This one goes over top, Lomachenko, pull down on the hand, and then I'm a little bit tighter, and I got this right hand here. Okay, so once again, it's 1-2-1 over top, pull down. And I like to teach this one as imagining that you have handcuffs on. So when I pull down on this hand, it's not all the way back here because he's just going to lift his hand right back up and block. It has to be, again, a quick tempo to where I pull down, and right behind that is the actual right hand. Okay, so once in full, 1-2, up, and then right through it with that right hand. Okay, so get them to shell up. Like I said, it's probably going to work better when they're against the ropes, against the cage. Get them to cover up, and then when they do, create your opening. Use volume punches, pull down on the hand, land the overhand right. Alright guys, there you have it, the overhand punch. It can absolutely be a fight finisher. Now you know how to set it up so you're not just throwing it blindly. Make sure you tune in to ESPN Plus and ESPN2 next week, Thursday, October 31st, for the PFL light heavyweight and heavyweight playoffs. These guys are competing for their chance at fighting for $1 million. Details are down below. Until next time, I'm Shane.
Vince the Anomaly.
fight tips for the underdogs.